No.
Oh my God. Mira, eso se cayó. Eso de la gasolinera. Eso puede explotar.
No, por favor.
Mira.
Creo que hay muchos carros aquí.
Están parados todos esos carros. We stuck. Esa vaina puede explotar, ¿no? Tell them over here, Kaden. Tell them over here.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Unidentified Podcast. Um, so today I decided to share a story with you guys, and this is my Christmas story, I guess. I'll call it my Christmas story. um, so you know, I mentioned a lot. I'm from Dominican Republic. I have family from over there, and my brothers and sisters live all around the country. Okay, I have a brother that lives in Long Island, and I asked him and his family to come down here and see me. And you know, I was very persistent and insistent for them to come down here. Okay, the same for my sister that lives in the North Carolinas. Um, Her and her daughter uh, drove all the way here, and my brother drove over here from these different places of the world, of the country. Um, I took some time off because I needed to relax and see my family, spend some quality time. Right? I've been waiting for this. I've been hoping this would work out for me. So, what better time to do this than Christmas, right? Well, 2 days before Christmas, I think it was, a day before, no, Christmas Eve, a day before Christmas Eve, 2 days before Christmas. Um, they went to work. After work, they started, driving here. My brother had 8 hours to get here, and my sister 10. And my brother makes it here about 4 in the morning. My sister was supposed to make it here at about like 6 a.m. So after my brother got here, I went to sleep. And about at 7:30, 7:40 a.m., my brother, I felt somebody like touching my leg. And, I wake up, I'm like, yo, what's up? And he's crying, and he tells me, yo, Jing, which is my sister, she got in a car accident and she totaled her car. So obviously, I get spooked. I take the covers off and I make a run for it. First pants I see, I put them on, which were like super thin, like sports pants. And I didn't even really like brush my teeth that morning, and I just made a run for it. So we make it out there. GPS says she's 2 hours away, but weather conditions were terrible. So we make it over there in like 4.5 hours. On our way there, my sister tells me, hey, my car is in a ditch. I'm fine. The cops came here, helped me out. And, it's in the ditch. So we figured if it's in the ditch, we can recuperate the car or whatever. So we stopped at the dollar store, and I insisted we buy a shovel. My brother was like, oh, we probably won't need it, but just in case. I didn't mind spending the money. I buy gloves. I buy all things for the cold because I was going to be like, shoveling the snow. So we pick up my sister from the gas station she was staying at. On our way there, Um, you know, she's crying. She can't express herself. She's just nervous, crying, shaky, and she made it out well with a few bruises, cuts, minor cuts in her neck, a lump in her head, or whatever. But for what it was, I'm grateful. That's all she had, right? So we made it to where her car is, and her car. Oh, I'll send you guys. We'll post a picture of everything I'm talking about right now. Um, we make it to her car. Her car is sideways in the ditch. Okay, all the airbags are blown out. The whole side is on the mountainside. The passenger side is on the mountainside and everything. And right away, I feel as soon as I see that car, I just feel guilty because I insisted and persisted that they come visit me, man. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna say nothing, but this is my fault, pretty much. You know what I mean? But I stay quiet. I didn't say anything. So I go into the car, which was very difficult to navigate through. I made sure I took everything out of the car. We get everything, and we leave. And as soon as we leave, we felt like the weather conditions get even worse than what they were at first. The winds are hitting the car to the point where you can feel the car like shift to the side and everything. And it comes to the point to where we have no idea where we are. So I stick my head out and I'm telling my brother, hey, like, listen, you are super far from the edge of anything. So make it to the right, whatever. We figured out later on that we were going in the totally opposite side of the road. So we were in the oncoming traffic actually. And we fixed that. We navigated all the way to the right or whatever. But it was so cold out that I couldn't keep my head out. I could not stay outside or anything like that. So it was super hard. Visibility was zero. Like the radio station was saying, you couldn't see anything. Meaning you couldn't see like somebody in front of you, like a car in front of you or anything like that until it was too late. So we going super slow or whatever. Along the way, we find a guy from Canada and he's over here nervous and everything. So we stop, we talk to him and he's like, hey, all these roads are closed and we don't know what we're gonna do. And we like, well, we're gonna try. So you wanna follow us? So we followed each other. Like first he went in front and then we went in front and like that, right? And it came to the point to where we kept getting stuck and we were taking turns shoveling ourselves out to advance a little more. And we kept getting like taking turns to keep advancing. And we were going through the cars and 18-wheeler trucks that were getting stuck and stuff like that. And we made it to a point to where we couldn't go any longer. And that was after that gas station. That we'll post a picture, but this is gas station that the top of it blew off and everything. And my sister freaks out. She's like, hey, let's move away from here. We can't stop here because it's gonna blow up and this and that. And we're like, nah, it's not gonna blow up, but we'll move. So somehow we made it out of that, out of that space. We kept advancing. And the guy that had found us came back, knocked on our windows, and he's like, yo, listen, 911 is not responding. 911 is not going to help, and this and that. And after talking for a few minutes, he said, we are dying here. And I'm like, bro, like, I have a kid in the car. Like, my little 11-year-old niece is in the car. I'm like, like, that's not the attitude I want to hear. So my niece is looking at us for like approval or answers or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's okay. We fine. We don't worry about it or whatever. My sister is still crying. And we made it a little forward, we advanced a little to the point to where there was no way of advancing anymore. There was 18 wheelers, there was a lot of cars there. And throughout the night, we just decided we are gonna stay there, try to call 911. Just so you guys have an idea, we call 911 and 911 had more questions than solutions, which was very frustrating. Why you outside? You're not supposed to be outside, and and this and that, and I don't know who would do this and who would do that. To the point where I got so frustrated, I started explaining what had happened and why we were outside, and they didn't give a shit. Like honestly, they're like, well, I don't know what you're gonna do, but we can't get to you. And I'm like, but how are you gonna tell us that? And she's like, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't look good because you guys are in the middle of the storm, and before you, there's a lot of people on the list. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta rescue all these people before we get to you. We're like, oh, okay. So let's see. So, thing is, we made it to like I think it was like 22 hours in the car, and throughout the night, me and my brother, we didn't grow up together. He's my half brother, but we treat each other like full brothers. It makes no difference to me. And because my sister was crying and my niece was nervous, we started just joking around. And I knows how I am more than anybody here. And we start joking, but we actually we know what's going on. Like, there's no way around it. Like, we know how bad it is, but somehow we find a way to just put music on and dance and play with my niece and make us smile for a little bit. But that only lasted so long, and we knew we were stuck, right? So we are shoveling throughout the car, around the car and stuff like that, because we are aware that carbon monoxide poisoning is a thing. And I open the doors every so often. I didn't sleep until daytime, um because I kept opening the doors and making sure everybody was good. My sister said that was the quietest she ever seen me in my life, and I'm 32 and I don't shut up. But the reason I was quiet is because I'm looking for solutions, like real solutions, because after calling 911 for like the 11th time and them nagging on you, like, you realize like it's on you. Like, you have to find the solution through this. And how, I don't know how to explain this, but I'm responsible for this. In my mind, I'm responsible for the whole situation. And Brittany, the mother of my kids, she's calling me. Well, I didn't have a phone or anything, but she calling my brother and my sister over and over again, like, with help. Like, you could do this, you could go there. I'm trying to find somebody to go your way. And I'm like, I'll pay them. But everybody's like, it's not about the money. It's about us being able to make it out there. There's no way to make it out there. And after hours of, trying to negotiate with people and stuff like that, we just gave up. And I realized, like, we had to do something. Looking out the window, man, I put my hand out of the window, and I took a lot of pictures. We took a lot of pictures. We took videos and stuff like that. On the phone, it doesn't look as bad as it was, because when I put my arm out the window, I couldn't see my arm. You know what I mean? Like, we could not see. And me and my brother were like looking at each other like, bro, like, you can't see nothing out there. And it was so cold. The wind was so hard that we couldn't like spend like more than like 2 minutes outside. There was a 18 wheeler truck right behind us, and the lights were blinking and everything. And after like 16 hours, the lights stop blinking. And we like, what's going on? What's going on? But we still can't see nothing but all the blinkings of the car is like faded blinkings, okay? So that stops. The next morning after, that tough night, um, the truck is off and people are trying to check on this trucker guy and nobody came out. So we're assuming he didn't make it through the night. Um, the people in front of us didn't make it either. Um, and I thought, what's next, man? You know what I mean? Like we were running out of gas, and I didn't want to say nothing, but I'm like, we fine. I'm telling them that we fine, we fine. Um, Something's got to happen, and that whole night I was praying and everything. Sorry if I'm taking too long with this story, but I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, right? So the next day, we after it was like 12 o'clock, and we see a jet ski, uh, some snowmobile passing by, and my sister starts punching the window like, "Oh, they saving us! They here! The cops are here, or whatever. 911 is here, or whatever." And they kept going, so she started crying, and you know that like I feel so bad for her because she thought we were good, right? But whatever. Like an hour after that, he came back and we beeped the horn, and he got out of the thing and started talking to us, and he was telling us like, hey, it's bad. No cars are coming this way, nothing. Like if you don't have a snowmobile, you're not moving through this snow and everything. Like there was piles higher than our truck. And he's like, if you don't know, like cops are not coming this way, man. And we decided, well, he said, well, I can take one of you. And he actually asked to take my niece. And my brother said, yeah, take her. And I said, wait, hold on. You cannot make this choice. This is not your daughter. And he's like, you know what? It's true. Not my daughter. So we look back and we look at my sister. My sister was like, nah, like I can't just let her go like that. And I'm like, bro, like, can you take both of the girls? Like, or whatever? And he like thought about it for a second, and then he's like, yeah, I'll take both of them, but I can't take you guys. And I'm like, nah, that's cool. Just we'll figure something out. Just take them. So they go, off they go. And as soon as I couldn't see them anymore, like something happened to where like I was so desperate. I got out of the car and I started shoveling to see if I could make it through. But the mountain was higher than the front of the car. So there's no way you're going through there. Like, and being outside of the car was like just hurting. It hurted, you know, it was just hard. And my brother came out. He's like, hey, come inside of the car. Come inside of the car. It's too cold. You can't be outside this long. And it came to the point to where I just told him, like, just leave me alone. Just let me do this. Let me, like, I gotta try, see what happens, right? So I'm out there and I'm just praying the whole way through there. And when I was about to be done, like shoveling, I saw like five of the people in the snowmobile coming back, but not the guy that took my sister. He was in a yellow thing. I saw green, I saw white, I saw all different colors, but the yellow one that took my sister. And made me worried because it was like an hour and a half in between things. And I'm like, what if this guy, is taking her somewhere else? It's two girls. You don't know who this is or anything. So I'm doubtful about everything. So they come, they ask us if we want them to go or whatever. And we're like, yeah, for sure. And they're like, you got gloves? Because you're going to get frostbite or whatever. I didn't have like no good gloves. The gloves I had were like freaking wet because every time I wear the gloves, put them in the heater and whatever. So he's like, well, I'm gonna try to hurry up because this is below 15, 15 below. And he
Fahrenheit.
couldn't see anything. Was that?
Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Celsius.
Celsius,
I
Celsius.
think it's what we use here. Um, and so I wrapped my hoodie, my thingy around. I had no socks on, so I couldn't feel my feet. I didn't want to tell anybody, but my bones hurt, my feet hurt. I can't like really walk how you're supposed to be walking. But I didn't want to say anything because, like who cares? Like what they gonna do about it? Like there's no way around it. So he's telling me like, oh, they took him to this place, they took him to that place. All of these places were like fire halls, shelters, police things, and they weren't taking anybody. So as we advance, you're gonna see the video. My sister was in a truck, and she flags us down. She's like, ah! So we realized it was my sister in the truck. So finally, we get reunited after like 2 hours, and I go in the truck, man, and my hands are freezing. My brother's hands are like beet red and everything. And they're like, hey, they volunteered to take us home. Like, what you think or whatever. And I'm like, I just want to go to my house. They're like, well, that's not happening because everything is closed. All the roads are closed, all this. And I'm like, well, then take us to a shelter. And he's like, no, all the shelters are really closed for real. So we end up looking at each other and we like, are these murderers? Are these killers? Like, we trust them. What do we do? And we end up going to their house with them. And when we get there, man, I can't explain. Like, they received us and hugged us like they knew us. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say, and I didn't know what to expect. But as soon as those people saw us come in through that door, they're like, "Oh, I'm so glad you okay." I'm like, "You don't even know me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why you hugging me? Why you like taking me in like this, right?" But they did, and for 2 days we spent Christmas over there with them,
Wow.
and for 2 days we were in there with them, and everything they did, they made sure they include us in whatever they were doing. By the way, we were running out of gas too, and still 911 was being assholes. Like, you shouldn't be outside. Yeah, but we outside, so are we not worth trying to help? And well, we made it there. On the day of Christmas, um, I noticed this. They took out of their gifts to give to my niece, so she could
Oh,
have a Christmas. Yeah, like, isn't that something? They didn't have to do that. We ended up cooking some Hispanic food for them, and they were so happy and this and that. We cooked at their house, and they treated us as if we knew each other for a long time, man. Like, we were lucky. You have like no idea. Like, we were lucky that they did everything for us. Like, they brought out a freaking mattress to put in the living room. They let us watch TV. They let us put music on. They let us cook. I was wearing the same underwear, the same clothes, the same everything, which was super uncomfortable, right? I couldn't brush my teeth because there was no until the last day I didn't brush my teeth. But whatever, man. I made it through. We made it through, and they ended up end they end up bringing us home, man. And we were joking, we were messing around, man. It's my nature to just mess around and make the best out of situations and stuff. And my brother made that very easy for that to happen. So the first time we tried to make it down here and we only made it halfway through. Imagine us, like how happy we were to like be on our way home. And there was a stop where the cops were like, beyond this point you can't go. And we had to go back. And that was like one of the hardest parts too, because we thought everything was over. Like the whole nightmare is over. We thinking like, oh, we made it, good. And we had to come back for another day, man. And you know, whatever. Everything was good. It's I get sad over this, but it's actually a good story. It's actually a happy story. You know what I mean? Because when we got to that house, they put on the news, and there was little babies, little infants that didn't make it. Last time I checked, and I don't want to check anymore, there was 39 people around that road that we were that did not make it at all. We didn't make it for Christmas. They won't make it back at all. That's a Christmas that those families are gonna remember, and not in the best of ways.
It's heavy, man.
Yeah, and at least every Christmas I'll remember we survived that. But those families are gonna remember that they lost somebody. You know. Um. So that's pretty much my story. Um, my Christmas story. But I wanna give like thanks to these people, man, because expecting nothing in return, they took us in. They treated us good. They treated us like family, like if we knew each other. They told us, stay in touch, stay around. One of those guys ended up liking my sister and everything. He still likes her. We just, it was just, it was a good time for what it actually was. So with all of this being said, also, like on our way here, like on our way, the first day we tried to come this way when they send us back home, that guy's mother called them on the phone, okay, and she was on speaker, and she was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I ended up finding a family which we saved and stuff like that." And she's like, "Oh, you're so good. You're always doing that. You remember when you rescued this family and this and that?" So this is not the first time they put themselves at risk. These are some regular ass people helping people out there, man. These are I never saw a cop, never saw a firefighter. I saw regular people out there risking their lives when the cops were telling them not to come out of their house. Okay, this was all regular people. And the other thing is, like, before I forget, on the way in the snowmobile, man. I have a freaking crazy mind, and the whole time I'm like, oh, at least I get to ride this thing.
Before I go.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to, but on the way there, man, I got my coat, like I put it around because he told me like you need a mask, a face mask or whatever, and that's the best I could do. And on the way there, man, I was seeing these 18 wheelers that we were around water. I think that's why, but with icicles, like frozen, like the doors were frozen, like with clear water. The highway like tubes, like where you're supposed to like grab on and stuff like that, it was melted with ice. The houses was melted with ice, and I remember thinking like, what the hell is this, man? Is this like in a freaking apocalypse? Like, is this what where we live now from now on, or like what's going on? So many things going through my mind because looked like it was like that for years and years. Like I don't know how to explain this to you, but it looked like it was frozen for years, like all the thick ice around everything.
Yeah.
And
I asked Greg. I said, "Hey, Greg, was this the worst you've seen since you've been living there?" And he said it's as bad as the blizzard of '77.
77,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they were doing. Saying since '77, we have not seen something like that.
Wow.
Bad, man.
And like out of I'm not ungrateful, but like for me to survive out of everybody, like was somebody that deserved to survive? That I deserve to survive? Like more than these kids?
Of course, man. It's
So
nature is a weird thing.
yeah.
Not it's
So
something not to mess with. It humbles people. It brings out the best, but also the worst.
yeah.
But I'm glad you made it back with your family, man. At least.
Yeah. Really glad that you made it as well, and could have been a different story. But I do want to know, like, was it announced that the weather circumstances were gonna be that bad?
So no, it wasn't announced. It was announced that there was going to be a storm, but it was not announced that it would be this bad. Um,
All
but
right.
on top of everything, we didn't stop and think. We didn't stop and calculate the risk. We didn't stop for anything. It was my sister out there, and for sure, if I didn't make it to her, she would have died. So I would do it again without thinking
For
about it.
sure.
Without, you know, like if I had to do it again right now, knowing the risk, I'll do it. I'd rather die with her than wondering what happened. That's that's just that. I'm just surprised that my brother was with me all the way through. You know, he was on the same page without even communicating this to each other. We were like with it the whole way through, man. I guess I got the family time I prayed for.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
And do you know what happened to the Canadian guy that were?
n- never seen him again. Never knew
No.
his name. Never nothing. Um, you know, and to 911, man, you guys gotta do a better job communicating to people. Even if you can help me out, don't nag, because we already in the trouble we are. And the last thing we need to hear is that you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, and you like basically calling me dumb for doing what I did.
Angel, they
Yeah.
got a lot
Really
of people
dumb for being in
they got a lot of
the
people they gotta
situation I
help, man.
was.
You got like probably
What's
thousands.
that?
You got probably thousands of people calling them. Like, what do you want them to tell
Yeah,
you?
I don't care. I don't care
I
if you
feel
have 3,000, 2,000, a million people calling you. You give everybody the same service, the same hope, the same like you are there to not just help me physically, okay?
yeah.
You gotta like you they put you on that spot to actually like help me emotionally throughout this whole situation. Not like, oh well, you're in the middle of it, so I don't know what you're gonna do.
No, but yeah, it's discussable because it also puts a strain on them, and yeah, maybe
No,
they're not the most adept
ngayon,
people at communicating or the way they did it or the way they have handled it, because yeah, if calls coming left and right, one
yeah,
after
but
the other,
but
and they
but
can't do
even
nothing.
So if you call me a lot, when you call me, my job is I don't even want to go through that. She should have received our call as the first call,
Even if it was
not in
the
priority. Not to put me as a priority. That's not what I'm asking
No.
for. I had you on speaker and you telling me I'm screwed. And I'm telling you, I have a little kid in the car. I'm telling you, my sister got into an accident, and that's why I'm in the situation I am. And you tell me, well, you shouldn't be there. Well, it's not my problem. Well, this and that. Like, come on,
I
dude.
think I think what bothers him the most is that the way they were communicating. It was clear that they wouldn't be able to help, and I can understand that because they have thousands and thousands of people to help and rescue, and they also get a few limited sources to do so. But I
Yeah,
think
but
the
you
way
tell me
they
that
communicated it
it's not
with you
like
was
it's
not
not
the
like
most humane way.
come on, dude. Like, come on. I'm telling you, I have a little kid in the car. I'm running out of gas, and you're telling me this. You guys
Yeah.
gonna have to figure something out. There's nothing we can do. What the hell we gonna figure out? What the hell you want me to figure out? Tell us.
What would help?
Hold on.
What should have
You
she
doing like that?
said that would, or he said that would have helped in that situation? So you knew
I,
that they weren't be able to come to you. What would have helped?
she could have actually told us oh, we know. Telling me I'm in the middle of the storm, that's fine. Tell me I'm in the middle of the storm. Tell me I'm in the worst possible location. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
But telling me there's nothing we can do, like you telling me to give up?
no, but they're not
Well,
going
I
to give
don't
you
know. You're
false
gonna
hope.
have to figure it out. Tell me to figure it out. How are you gonna tell me to figure it out? What
They
was that, Ed?
I'm saying they don't want to give you false hope. Like, hey, Angel, yo, we on our way. Yo, no, we can't get this dude.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe
we
you
on our
have a
way.
point, man. Maybe I'm not looking at it like that, but like for my niece, man, I'm telling you, I have a kid in the car, and you're telling me I'm gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Is that what? So, in your resume, oh, in case of emergency, just let them know they gotta figure it out. Is that why you given that position?
Dude, it's you're talking about like people were saying like I haven't even lived through it. Like you got to talk to the old people. You know what I mean? Like most people never even seen anything like this. They wouldn't even know what to say. You know?
We're doing our best, okay?
Yeah.
We're trying to get to you. We already rescued 100 people. We rescued 20 people so far. We're making our way to you, okay? Oh, how long it's gonna take? I have no idea. It just all depends on how things progress. That's it.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference. Don't tell me to figure it out.
That's because they're a little too flippant.
Don't tell me I
Like
shouldn't
you
be
know,
outside.
like they talking to you like you're just a customer to them. Like oh well, just like but I
I'm
think
not.
when
I'm not. I'm actually not calling. First of all, I'm
yeah
not. I'm not calling to pay my phone bill.
yeah
I'm not calling for my electric company and I owe a bill. Like I'm telling you, I have human beings in the car, including a kid. Okay, be a little more humane. Don't tell me to figure it out. Like what the hell is that?
I think the part that they were nagging on you for what are you doing there and stuff like that would irritate me the most, and because you're already in that situation, it's not like you could have turned back time and choose otherwise. You're stuck in there. And but I can imagine that, and I can imagine that a lot of 911 operators felt that way, that you're working there and when you know you're not are going to be able to help it, yeah, I think that is also a very horrible feeling. Like I have someone on the line and I know there's a big chance that they're going to die and I can do nothing about it.
Yeah. No, it's not the same. If she seemed like concerned or preoccupied or
Yeah.
preoccupied or overwhelmed or something, you would know this. You would. She was more annoyed than anything, and I get
Yeah.
it. You're getting thousands of calls, okay? But this is the first time I called you.
Yeah. She could have handled it better.
No, don't act annoyed because I'm telling you my life is at risk. Whoa, you shouldn't even be outside. Well, don't you know there's a traffic ban? Well, now I know. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that? Like that's shitty. You're a shitty human being, and that's your answer as a first responder.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But maybe it's because it's my situation. I feel this profound about this situation. Maybe you're right. Maybe you have a point, Ed. Maybe with time I will understand better. But as in right now, I'm not able to get this. I'm not able. If it was me, I would treat every single call as if it was important to me because it is.
Well,
Whatever.
hey, Angel, you
So
survived.
with
You
all
got
of
you got some stories to tell, man.
whatever, I survived.
Yeah.
Thank God. I thank God, and not just thank God. After thanking God, I would like to um thank Jeffrey Battles and his family, Matt Battles and his family, and Kenny Madison and his family as well. Um, thank you for the experience. Thank you for allowing my family to feel secure with you guys. Thank you for allowing my niece to have a Christmas. Thank you for returning us back home safe and checking on us afterwards. They did a better job than the 911 people. Even if they didn't bring us home, they checked on us. It's great. All the things that lady from 911 said, free, free. Emotional support has no value on it, and it's free to you. But whatever.
Good to know that there still are some good people out there, good hearts. In this time, it's like a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, whatever. It's, it's fine. Thank you for listening, though. Thank you for watching the Unidentified Podcast. If you have questions, reach out. We're gonna be doing stuff on Instagram soon with Negayan. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. Uh, I'm trying to get Ed to participate with us on a giveaway. This is all on a different note, right? Let's change, the mood. Um, yeah, some things are coming up. Some giveaways are coming up. Thank you for the support. We don't have that many subscribers, but I am grateful for each and every one of you guys. And if you could just have suggestions or comments and let us know how we doing or what we could use for a different or a new episode, please go forward with it. Instagram is in the bio, right? I think the
Yeah,
link
it's
is in
somewhere.
there.
It's somewhere.
Yeah, so interact with us on there, man. Um, I don't know how these people feel, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful I was able to survive this, be here, and continue this. By the way, I was bothered by people who asked me what had happened, and I told them what happened. They was like, "Well, at least you had a Christmas," or at least like that was their concern. Christmas, not my life, not my niece, not all of these. They were worried about Christmas. That's shitty. Whatever.
Okay, guys, for me, and yeah, probably for my girlfriend as well. I want to thank you, Odedi, for joining us on this episode.
Yeah.
I,
Thank you.
You coming back, or
Peace
or
out.
is this it?
I think I will be back sometime. But it was nice to join for a change instead of hear it secondhand what you guys are talking about or seeing it in videos, and you guys are doing a good thing. So keep on doing it, and we'll see each other in the future.
All right.
Does that mean we are done with the today's sessions?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Sure.
we got a lot of videos out today, man.
Okay. These are good ones. Please like and subscribe, man. Support us, help us out. We get them better, and we will continue to get better. The point behind this, I keep saying this, is to learn and share. Okay, and if you have something to add to what we are doing right now, you are more than welcome to let us know. All right.
All right,
Thank you for watching Unidentified Podcast. See you on the next.
we out.